tragedy has its hero. And
so, is this the guy that strike Pokemon? Strike my queen? You strike my queen down? You're gonna get the horns, buddy.
And the hero of today's story, at least in the beginning, was definitely Bowblax, also known as Sonic Josh, also known as Pounding Bowblax. As the creator of Twitter Versus, a series where he would simply compile all of the tweets and relevant videos about a situation and document it, he managed to rack up over 300,000 subscribers on YouTube from simply reading other people's tweets. But recently, a number of controversies have really brought his reputation crumbling down, to the point where many feel like he is destined to reside in the annals of commentary channel crashouts among the likes of Creepshow Art or Tipster or John Swan. But is Bowblax really that bad? And could his reputation potentially be saved? These are the questions I aim to answer today. The story of Bowblax begins as many do, with autism. Josh started his journey in life as a young autistic man from Canada who loved Sonic. Stop laughing at Sonic! And as you can probably guess, his disorder made him have a harder time socializing in real life than other people. But not all was lost, because from the comfort of his own bedroom, he could access a brand new world on the internet.
Millions of Americans own a personal computer. If you're one of them, you can now glimpse the future with nothing more than a modem, a phone line, and a few dollars a month.
He quickly found himself in a community of like-minded people who were longing for some sense of connection, some sense of camaraderie, as we all do. And not only that, he wanted to make a name for himself online. Luckily for him, in the early 2010s, YouTube was becoming an increasingly viable method of making money from your special interests. So he got his feet wet with gaming content.
Hello, all my little dwarf Bowblaxes of my little Bowblax kingdom. It is me, Emperor Bowblax, and we're here for a new Let's Play. We're doing the GameCube celebration.
Looking back at his stuff from around 2011 and 2012, it's actually pretty adorable how innocent the guy was.
Hello, this is Bowblax here, unscripted, unedited, face cam, first ever vlog. Yes. Okay, whatever. Anyways,
he was just another fish in the sea of people trying to share their interests with the world and have their voices heard. Josh spent the next 5 years publishing literally thousands of videos to the platform. From Let's Plays of Mario and Pikmin and Zelda to podcasts with his friends, he always seemed to be on the grind to put something out. And he did have a few videos get some major traction.
So recently I've been having some issues with the left Joy-Con where it just doesn't connect to the console no matter how many times I put it in and out or press any of the buttons in any order. It just doesn't connect. And recently, on my own, I found a way to fix this. There was another way to fix this online, that involved going into the system settings and disconnecting the controllers manually, turning off the console fully, and then reconnecting the controllers while the console was off.
But these videos that did pop off, so to speak, were outliers for a number of reasons. Statistically speaking, it's not that good to be publishing thousands of videos over the course of 5 years, only to have a small handful of them reach any more than 50,000 views. And on top of that, the videos that he had that did become popular were also outliers from his usual content. The ones that popped off were mostly tutorial videos, only viewed by people who needed a quick fix for a problem. How to get your Joy-Cons to work properly, how to get your Funko Pop to properly fit up your butt. This is the kind of content that popped off on his channel. These are videos that are completely devoid of any personality that anyone can latch onto, and they weren't going to pull in viewers to stay for his usual Pikmin playthroughs. But he did have a few other little videos that did actually pop off and got more than 1 million views. Unfortunately for him, these videos weren't his. Instead, they were archives of other people's content that had been deleted or were hard to find. The unfortunate truth was that after 5 years, Josh had failed to make his personality connect with the outside world. He was just another drop in the bucket. But maybe that wasn't so bad. After all, archive sites like Wayback Machine are an invaluable resource for consumers and content creators alike. Preservation of media and information is extremely important, and tutorials are also useful. With this philosophy in mind, he'd enter a new era of his career as the drama archive. In 2016, the idea of YouTube drama being a career path was still relatively new. Legacy creators like Jax Films, Markiplier, and even PewDiePie at the time were having a very hard time adjusting to the fact that YouTube had gotten so big, you could make a substantial living just talking about what other YouTubers were doing. Josh Bowblax, on the other hand, was very forward thinking, and he began archiving events from the commentary community. He moved from the original Bowblax channel to his side channel, originally called Bowblax 2, which would now become a useful hub for all of the ongoing drama. He compiled tweets, Twitter videos, video responses, blog posts, any single instance where any notable creator would weigh in on an ongoing situation. He slapped some music on it with no original commentary of his own and would post that fully monetized to YouTube. Now, I think a lot of you are probably questioning the legality of doing something like this. As a rule, archive channels exist in a sort of gray area of copyright. At a larger scale, on one hand, there are times when our government has realized how important it is to preserve media for future generations and will protect the rights of archivists and media preservationists. But on the other hand, rights holders who want to indefinitely make money from their old works or hide their old stuff from public scrutiny have spent decades trying to push back on that. And this is kind of reflected on YouTube as a whole, because it's a site that launched as the internet was just finding its feet with monetization. Legally, you as a YouTuber may be within your right to take down whatever piece of archived content you want. But generally, as a community standard, copyright claiming content that is a simple re-upload is seen as a big no-no, even if the claimant is within their legal right. So with this culture in mind, Bowblax was effectively able to function as an archive channel with no personal commentary or personality, and he went about doing this pretty uninterrupted for well over a year. That is, until the Fire Nation attacked. In November of 2018, Bowblax uploaded a video documenting a Twitter beef between Keemstar and Pokimane. This was no different than the typical videos he did. He simply compiled a bunch of tweets and videos, added some music to it, and uploaded it to YouTube. But his videos prior to this rarely cracked more than 5,000 to 10,000 views. This one, however, got more than 600,000 in a very short period of time, meaning a lot of people noticed it, including Pokimane. Pokimane herself would swiftly file a copyright takedown. Keep in mind, there were plenty of other videos on YouTube from this same time period that included the same exact clips of Pokimane on YouTube, and less than 10% of Bowblax's actual video even included anything from Pokimane. Which begs the question, why in the hell did Poki want this specific video from Bowblax himself to go down? This is a question that was asked at the very top of the YouTube ladder.
Pokimane. She striked this video called Keemstar vs Pokemon Twitter fight, bullying Sniper Wolf fanboy. Now, I know about this video because it was pushed everywhere by YouTube. It was basically a Twitter feud between Keemstar and Pokimane. They uploaded videos to each other. I don't know, because Keemstar is illiterate, and for some reason Pokimane decided, yeah, I'll make a video as well.
It seemed like, for whatever reason, Poki just wanted this drama to go away. And her method of enacting her will was to use the copyright system to silence the biggest video documentation of this entire Twitter beef. So she got a ton of pushback from a lot of people, myself included. This quickly became one of the main reasons to hate Pokimane back in the day, and rightfully so. And when she was backed into a corner, she eventually had to apologize for what she had done. But even after her initial apology, this was a big point of criticism against her, propagated by channels like Leafy.
People made videos about her, and she's copyright.
Do you think it helps, though, that these people, like, imagine if I was a channel that did that, or done something like that, right? Oh, wait. Imagine that I done, or just fucking think of what happened, all right? Bowblax was uploading the video, it was getting traction, it got taken down, and then in a chain reaction butterfly effect event, then PewDiePie's uploaded a video, but the video is taken down about the thing. Other people are doing it. You got Pokimane's eyes on it. There's more eyes on it than it ever would have been if it, and you know, it sucks for something to get like taken down or whatever, but you know what doesn't suck? When something gets taken down as that you done, and then everyone has your back. That's kind of cool, right? So I don't really feel so bad for Bowblax or really anyone in this situation, just because like it helped in the long run.
Strike them, the list goes on and on. If you make a video that is negative about her, she's gonna try to gun you.
So at this point, Bowblax had officially gone from just another fish in the sea to a flounder truly worthy of note. If you were to catch him in the harbor when you're playing Pokemon, you would be fucking respected, okay? You would get a big reward, maybe a lot of cheese or something. I don't know how Pokemon works, but you would get something good. And this particular saga with Poki would be recorded in the annals of YouTube drama history forever. This drama gained him thousands of subscribers, and he was able to milk milk it throughout several videos. And with this newfound traction, Josh upped the ante on his content a little bit, where instead of making simple compilations of tweets, he started an official series called Twitter Versus, wherein he, with his own voice, would describe the basic turn of events in any drama situation that was going on. He would compile all the tweets and read them out in full, and make that into a very digestible format. It was slightly more transformative than what he had originally done, but functionally it was still an archive of other people's content with very, very minimal added commentary from him. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. His content was definitely a valuable resource for people who wanted to catch up on the drama in a relatively unbiased way most of the time, and it was also very useful for creators like myself or other drama channels to not have to go through every tweet themselves. They could just watch a Bowblax video, grab all the screenshots they needed, and that was it. And at the same exact time, he had also managed to make some very valuable connections. Josh joined a YouTube live show hosted by Augie RFC as a permanent co-host, becoming a member of a new, small, burgeoning commentary community. He would also quickly become connected to a revolving door of content creators like Nicholas Diorio, John Swan, Tipster, and a whole other list of revolving cast members who would hop on Augie's streams and discuss whatever current drama was going on. It was like a live radio show that was discussing YouTube events and internet culture. And with this in mind, it felt like a new genre of commentary channels was on the horizon, as people who were trying to make their way in the community and make popular commentary videos and blow up their own channels would often call into Augie's streams to discuss ongoing situations. And Bowblax, as a member of this community, would set forth documenting every single drama that happened in his series Twitter Versus. It's really impossible to overstate how important this community was to Bowblax. On his own, his personality didn't really carry any real viewership, but by appearing on Augie's streams, he could connect with a more tight-knit and loyal group of viewers through Augie, and he, by extension, got some fans of his own through that.
I think right after they're like, okay, hard shift, do you like cum on your face or whatever? I think they asked that or something.
Wait, I remember face cum comparison, and then Zerka's just like, yeah, dude, I don't believe in pre-cum. If you put it on the face, no baby.
Oh yeah, people are like, have you had pre-cum before? Oh, I've had pre-cum. I haven't had pre-cum. Like, I had no idea how to fucking answer that.
Why, Bowblax, have you had pre-cum before?
The fuck are you guys talking about?
Wait, Bowblax, how's that a hard question to answer? What are you talking about?
It's not a hard question to answer. It's a hard conversation. It's a weird conversation.
Bowblax has never had sex. Get him, got him.
Who's or tasted it?
I've had pre-cum. You got.
Yeah, but that's actually.
Yeah,
good.
who's the virgin now, buddy?
Be a good Christian boy. Don't have sex before marriage.
No.
Who's the virgin now?
Wait.
Little fucking coomer. Fake.
Bowblax, you never produced pre-cum?
I have. No one's listening to me. Listen to me. Everyone's abusing me like Hannah. Stop abusing me. Stop gaslighting me. It's me.
Jeez, man. I just got a fucking autism attack.
Bowblax, go get alcohol, start drinking, do it now.
I'm sober.
Yeah,
I know, I'm saying to start drinking.
You should have been drunk for that one.
It's important to note here that this community also had a very, very big focus on copyright abuse, with Augie covering various figures who couldn't take criticism. One great example being Pokimane, who he did a number of streams on defending Bowblax from her false takedowns of his content, and another great example being Susie Liu, who is a lazy anime reaction channel who filed a copyright takedown on some clearly transformative content that was designed to make fun of her. She just couldn't handle the criticism, she couldn't handle the mockery. So Bowblax appeared on her show to call her out.
Yeah, you can't just go around silencing criticism on YouTube that you don't like.
Josh himself went on to make 9 separate videos covering the Susie Liu drama saga, mostly based on her proud status as a copyright abuser, which she wasn't really hiding from.
Susie Liu, a copyright abuser and false flagger that is so bad that she puts even Onision to shame. Because unlike Onision, she's not out to take your money, but to delete.
You guys remember Onision? Let's get
your channel.
It's not
she
about that.
Tweets out, it's funny how people bully others for months, then play.
Damn, it's been a while since I've heard that name. I remember back in the day watching videos about him.
Victim when karma.
Yeah, kind of forget now, but is he still around?
Comes back around. Sending your 5-year-old fans to dislike and hate my appearance won't change a thing. This is just the beginning.
And others from this same community, like John Swan, would also make videos about the subject, with his videos in particular getting millions of views. Others like Nick Diorio, Tipster, and Flamenco would also call in to cover the story, documenting her misdeeds, and they would also make their own independent videos about what was going on. And this same pattern, where the entire community would come together to rail on a specific person at the same point in time, would repeat over and over for subsequent subsequent dramas, like with the star of To Catch a Predator turned shady YouTube grifter journalist Chris Hansen. This whole community was a lockstep in covering these issues, with each wave of videos and each new drama bringing in more views and thus more content. And there was Bowblax every single step of the way to make a Twitter versus documenting every single take, not only from his friends within the community, but also from larger figures. With the Twitter versus format in mind, Bowblax quickly became one of the more popular members of this genre on paper, quickly reaching 100,000 subscribers. But unfortunately, it wouldn't be long before Bowblax's own character was called into question. As a resident of 2016 YouTube, Bowblax had a few edgy moments under his belt, as do all of us. Only in 2016 though. For sure. The funniest example of this being his performance of Black Lives Matter. He had
It's only in 2016. It's only in 2016.
Recorded the song in 2016 for some friends and uploaded it to YouTube as an unlisted video. Unfortunately for him, and fortunately for us, this video will get leaked in all of its glory.
Some people don't know the struggle of being fucking black. We always get bullied. We always get bullied. Cause we are black. Black lives matter.
Amazing.
All the white should die. So mean to us. Might as well yourself.
Most of his peers found it pretty hysterical, and while it was somewhat cringe, at the end of the day, it wasn't something to hold against Josh. It was a funny video and nothing else.
Okay.
But Bowblax didn't really see it that way, which is why a year after the leak, he decided to file takedowns on 3 separate videos in one single night. When this was brought up on stream, he acted pretty shifty about it. He didn't really want to acknowledge what he had done, and if he did acknowledge—
Wait a minute. I thought it was almost like it was portrayed in the video that he didn't do it. Like, kind of like, I don't know. I don't know how I got that, but if you do this and then someone makes a video about you, can you strike them? Like, how could you strike them?
takedowns on 3 separate videos in one single night. When this was brought up on stream, he acted pretty shifty about it. He didn't really want to acknowledge what he had done, and if he did acknowledge it, he definitely didn't want to justify or talk about it.
I strike down my... Dude, that's why I didn't want to respond to it. I told you last stream when this was brought up to not bring it up. I literally
bullshit you did. You bullshit you said that.
I did. I told you to not bring it up.
I didn't get the.
I read the chat. I didn't fucking. I wasn't like, hey, Bowblax, let's talk about the strike.
You don't have to read the chat.
I do have to read the chat.
Tom
I read every single chat message.
Wait, okay. Oh, never mind. I won't get into the conversation.
I don't know. I just think it was a bad move. I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't think Bowblax is a bad guy. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not like turning on him right now. I'm just saying it's just kind of a bad move.
Basically what happened is,
Wait, what?
people were re-uploading the Black Lives Matter song, and I was like, you know what, I don't feel comfortable with this being up and readily available for people to watch, so I just copyright striked it because it's mine. That's it. It's legal.
Bowblax, the same guy who has a second channel that involves archiving drama content, was copy striking creators that archived his Black Lives Matter song. BLM.
But of course, this explanation he gave is massively hypocritical considering how he built his career in the first place off of archiving other people's content.
I take deleted content or inaccessible or hard to access content and put it over here in an archive format so people have an easier way to access it. I'm not trying to make money, I'm just trying to make stuff convenient for other people.
This is the same exact justification used by Pokimane.
It was situations where people were re-uploading content of mine or something that I put out there. Regardless, I still handled those situations badly, and I regret the way that I handled them, and I'm sorry for the way that I handled them.
But at least Pokey was willing to apologize for what she did. Bowblax, on the other hand, endlessly justified his actions and
the first time you try bounce,
refused to apologize for what he had done.
Scumbag Hector made a video on Bowblax calling him a false
He's
flagger.
been spamming that in the chat. I'm not gonna respond. I don't care.
What is that? The BLM thing?
Well, just responded.
It's just dumb. Little YouTube.
I don't know, Bowblax. I'm gonna be honest. That was a fucking. I'm not gonna make this a big deal, but I'm just gonna put it on the record. That was kind of a dumb move.
All right.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
You're
Here it
Your
goes.
opinion.
And to make matters worse, Josh had also filed a takedown in a video that was clearly transformative beyond a shadow of a doubt with no question. So now he had gone a step further than Pokey ever did. Despite that, he insisted that these were not comparable situations. So he was called out for it on Twitter by Tommy C. And he responded by saying that he had taken down the videos by accident. I was messing around with the copyright tab while high and took them down by mistake. My bad. But this obviously isn't a very good explanation if you know anything about YouTube and how the copyright system works. This is what the YouTube copyright tab looks like. YouTube actually tells you specifically how much of your video is used in someone else's content with a percentage indicator. To file a takedown, you have to seek out the specific video, you have to copy the link, you then have to navigate to the removal request tab and fill out a bunch of your own personal information, as well as a detailed reason for why you believe your copyright has been infringed on. This is not a slip on a banana peel and fall onto the keyboard type of process where you accidentally take down a video. Obviously, you can regret it later, but it's extremely difficult to do this by accident. Despite this, Bowblax insisted that this was a mistake, while also justifying his actions.
I was high. Okay, I was high, and that's why I made the decision to remove the Black Lives Matter videos, which I had the full right to do, but I didn't want to do it. Or, I mean, not that I didn't want to do it, but like, I realized it was a bad idea after the fact. Just like in general, like it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it's just dumb. And that's like the that's the judgment that I lacked when I was high. The other video, it got caught in the crossfire because it almost looked like a re-upload, but then there was like some transformations and like in it where it was like it wasn't the full song, and then there's like some screenshots of tweets I made afterward, and it was just in my list of things to strike, and I didn't like double check because obviously I was high, so I had like lapse in judgment for some things and accidentally striked it. And immediately, as soon as I found out, literally 10 minutes within it, I sent YouTube to take off the strikes. It's just like, it's literally just chalks up to a misclick. So you guys can all shut the fuck up, dude. And I'm never speaking about this again, and you're all banned if you mention it. Mods, fucking ban that guy, dude. I don't have any mods in chat, bro, so I gotta do it myself after this.
12 seconds later.
Like, am I wrong? Like,
yeah.
I don't know, dude. Don't feel.
I think so.
People in the chat who.
And I think justifying is like if you were high or whatever, like even if you were in like a heroin binge or whatever, like, you know, you gotta type it all in, and you gotta make sure, and people look at you with some type of respect anyway, either to like give you attention or whatever. So they obviously respect you in some way, and to go out and take down other people's videos while you've been mad at people doing the same to you, just for like archiving certain stuff that you've done. I feel like that's just what's it called? A double standard? Like, you know, if you reverse the roles here, it would be completely different. Well, no. It's a double standard, but not like that. Never mind.
Who like me don't feel obliged to like agree with what I'm saying just because it's me saying it, but like, am I wrong?
It was clear that Josh was unwilling to admit that he was guilty of the very same thing as Pokey. After all, if he did admit to it, it would completely destroy the goodwill he had garnered from the YouTube community. But even with all of that, you have to really make note of the fact that the channels that Bowblax had struck were very small channels who didn't have a voice. They didn't have a platform or a megaphone to get their voices heard. All of this drama probably would have gone under the rug if not for one round bulking Italian man by the name of Nicholas Diorio. Nick was friends with Bowblax at the time. They were peers. They both appeared on Augie's show a lot, and apparently he wasn't very comfortable with Josh's attempts to downplay his actions, and it culminated in a confrontation for the ages.
It's every fucking time. It's like, oh, I didn't make a mistake, dude. I just got high and did it by accident. I didn't actually want to strike this video. Yeah, you fucking did. Okay. Oh god, I was arguing I was screeching in the fucking Among Us game. You know why I was screeching in the Among Us game?
I was mad, but I amplified it for fun.
Believes that.
I amplified it for fun.
I'm gonna call you out. No one
Wait, you're still. I was mad, but I amplified it for effect. Like I went on longer for comedic effect.
Literally nobody on. Dude, you literally rage quit the call. I'm sorry. That's literally.
Yeah, I was mad, but I played it up later for effect. That's what I said.
Yeah, this plutonium. Jesus, Nick is blatantly jealous here, nasty and pointless. I'm so jealous of the fact that you made me look like a retard. I'm so jealous of the fact that
How did I make you look like a retard?
defended you on the archival point and said that archives of videos are fair use and all that shit. And then you went and you struck a fucking video that was an archive.
I'm sorry, I fucked up. What else do you want me to say? Like, I fucked up. I'm ashamed of it. I fucking hate it.
Do not go around Twitter and telling everybody, oops, I got high, I wouldn't have struck the video.
I already said all the shit I'm saying right now publicly on a previous live stream and a previous
That's not the way
tweet.
you fucking said it. That's not the way you fucking said it.
Watch the clip. You don't even know what I said publicly.
Wow, dude, I can't believe that.
Can you do?
I can't believe an hour and 45 minutes.
I've been linking it to people who asked. I've been linking it to everyone who asked.
Your apology in an hour and 45 minutes.
No, that's not an apology. There's no apology. That's an explanation. Let me speak. You.
Did you just say? You say that word again?
You motherfucker.
Am I tripping?
You fucking bitch. My apology is not in there. My apology was oh my god! You didn't even watch the clip! Why are you saying shit without watching the clip?
You know what worries
Just fucking
me?
watch my shit!
Is... Okay, when the purple thing, when it goes around the back of the slot machine, how are you supposed to get to that? And
just fucking watch my shit and actually like listen to what I fucking say, dude! Before you fucking accuse me of shit, bro! Like, what are you fucking doing then?
After the meltdown, Augie ended the stream, and Josh left to lick his wounds. Now, one may think that, to the audience, this would completely shatter his credibility.
Like a dog. My
And to some
dog licks
extent
his
it did.
wounds.
But Augie,
Try to
Nick, and several other community members were still
fucking cone
Josh's
on it.
friends at the end of the day. While he had refused to take proper accountability for what he had done, the fact remained
this isn't part of the story.
that the
Let's
strikes
move on.
were quickly reversed. And the conflict had been pushed as far as it possibly could have been with the public live stream confrontation, resulting in the notorious Let Me Speak meltdown.
Let me speak!
And to give him credit where credit is due, Josh did seem willing to acknowledge how silly this outburst was past this incident. He even put the phrase "let me speak" at the top of the About page on his YouTube channel. At the very least, in the following months, he was more willing to take it on the chin, at least than he was during that stream, even as it became a soundboard meme frequently used on the H3 podcast.
Let me speak!
Despite Ethan documenting his drama from front to back, Josh actually thanked him for his coverage. Another big event from 2020 was when Josh got into a debate with the, at the time, Twitch streamer Destiny. The particulars of this debate are not super interesting. As most debates go, Destiny's audience thought that he won, and Josh's audience, although it was much smaller, thought that he won. And the latter result here is very, very important. Bowblax came away from this conversation with the impression that he had unequivocally won this debate. He even reposted portions of it to his YouTube channel, which were largely supported in the comment section with the consensus that he had won. Despite this, Destiny would continue to call Bowblax retarded and disabled on his stream whenever he was mentioned. And I want you to keep those seeds of mockery in your mind as we move forward, okay? Put that in your back pocket. Bowblax had officially triumphed on YouTube. In the short term, the copyright drama had very little effect on his career. His regular videos continued receiving hundreds of thousands of views, allowing him to purchase a brand new Tesla Model 3. When someone questioned if he was even able to afford it, he insisted that he purchased the car in full, and despite that, still had enough left over to buy it again. Now, assuming that he purchased this car new in 2021, it would have cost him around 45,000 Canadian dollars if he purchased the standard lowest trim. So you don't have to be a genius to surmise that spending half of your savings on a vehicle, especially one that will depreciate in value as much of a Tesla, is a bad idea. But maybe he would be fine. I mean, he's raking the dough in from YouTube, right? Surely he'll recoup that cost soon. At least he got his dick sucked in it or something. So he continued producing content over the next few years, unhindered completely by this one big mistake he made. And thankfully for him, there was no shortage of other commentators to talk about who were being railed on for their actions. Over the next few years, the misdeeds of other RFC cast members took great precedence over the misdeeds of Bowblax. From 2019 to 2021, John Swan was an up-and-coming commentary channel with good writing, great editing, and a really great knack for picking topics that really stuck. In a short time, he had racked up a few 100,000 subscribers and was seemingly well on his way to YouTube stardom. But the audience's trust in him was ultimately ruined thanks to one big lie. On February 14th, John had tweeted out a clip with the caption, "Holy shit, Dream is an actual douchebag." And the clip itself was cut from the official podcast and the Scuff podcast, where commentary YouTuber Critical discusses how Dream had said he used to promise people shoutouts before he had any large following in exchange for Discord roles. So Dream saw this cross-posted to a small subreddit, and he basically explained how John is bad news, and he made a specific allegation about John. A while back, after I interviewed him for a Minecraft documentary, he changed his profile picture and name in Discord to mine and started DMing people pretending to be me. He sent the N-word and a lot of other stuff, as well as said sexual stuff while claiming it was me, and giving his main Twitter to vouch, where he would then, from his main Twitter, voice saying that it was me and that we were amazing friends, and link the documentary to prove it. Once I confronted him about it, he said that his friend had hacked his accounts and done it. I didn't reply to him and unfollowed him, and I don't think he's super fond of me since then. Now, this accusation was quickly met by a response from John, where he escalated the drama, claiming that Dream was—
Wait, so this guy John, he went and made accounts pretended to be Dream?
Basically lying about him. He said that Dream was doing this in an attempt to smear his credibility by pushing this narrative, and that instead of John saying these things while pretending to be Dream, it was actually his 12-year-old autistic cousin who had gained access to his account and done all of the trolling.
Back probably a year ago, I was visiting some family friends. One of the guys I was talking to was much younger than me and wanted to know about YouTube and what I did to make videos. Since I didn't have my PC with me, I logged into Discord on his laptop and showed him some things that I had screenshotted and sent other people. Before I left, I foolishly didn't log out of my account. He decided it would be a good idea to start trolling on my account with his friends, and used an alt account as well as my account to have conversations with about 3 different people. One of these was Harley TBS. He had used an alt account, changed its name and profile picture to Dream, and started saying some really strange stuff. It was like 12-year-old humor. I was told the N-word was said, but I have seen no evidence of that. But I did find convos about a Minecraft sex mod and other weird shit.
And John was defended by this little community, as well as bigger commentary channels. You had Augie, Nick, Optimus, and of course Bowblax all defending him. In a 13-page Google document, John insisted that he was innocent of all this Discord trolling, and people believed him. But eventually, rumors spread privately that John had lied, leading Nick to confront him, where John admitted that he had lied.
But that doesn't really matter, because what matters is where it started, and if that person isn't going to come forward with anything, then it doesn't really matter.
Based, what a based picture. Whoever posted this, man. You get
shitty screenshots coming from third hand doesn't mean a thing.
So you're basically just okay with saying that, like, it didn't happen because Tro's not going to put out the screenshot.
Yes.
All right, man. I'm not mad at you. I'm not gonna like fucking. I don't know. I'm just like, I kind of am. Like, not gonna lie. I kind of would have.
No, you are justifiably are. You justifiably are, and I understand if this impacts things later on down the line. And
I just feel like you could have just told me right off the bat. I think we could have figured it out. We could have figured this out like literally day one. You didn't have to make that thread to address it. We could have totally figured this out when it was just a Reddit post, and we could have figured it out.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know. I wanted to.
Why would you start throwing fucking rocks around with Dream if you knew he had this on you?
Oh, it doesn't really.
No, but you made it much because you posted an 8-page Google document over.
This is a.
He's the one that started it, right? With the clip? What is the clip? Was that even played? The clip that was, clip of Dream talking about John on Discord. Discord called dying laughing at Dream face reveal. This video is 0 seconds long. This is not what I'm looking for.
White lie that blew up into a fucking mountain, dude.
While John tried to salvage his reputation, ultimately other dramas from his past destroyed what remaining respectability he did have, and to this day his channel is completely abandoned. And then there was Tipster. Tipster was a different kind of drama channel. Instead of making video essays like John, he would cover whatever was going on in a simple, lazy, slop type video. But to his credit, some of them did a good job of explaining whatever was happening in the community. However, Tipster's greatest flaw was his horniness, and it would often get him in trouble, like when he responded to an, at the time, time underage girl on Twitter, asking her, why do all the hot ones not like dick? Now, in fairness, he didn't know her age at the time, and this was a joke, but this was just one instance of him hitting on people publicly who didn't really want to accept his advances. He was super desperate for some kind of validation from these online e-women who frankly didn't want anything to do with him. And that on its own is not that bad when you couple that with his defense of lolicon. What little respect he did have in this little community began to wither, and before long, he was unironically a chaser.
Can we just agree that she cleaned it?
It's Lily Tipster. It's a cartoon of a child in nothing but a strip of clothing covering the flat chest and crouch. I don't know. Can you read that? Either or? Crouch or crotch? Had to unfollow Rum because her liking it put that disgusting SHIT on my timeline. Why is it a child? Because it had small tits? Guess grown-ass women never had small tits before. Damn, got him, Dipster.
He began to wither, and before long, he was unironically a chaser.
Can we just agree that she cleans up real nice? You know what I'm saying? Like when she, maybe puts on a little bit of lipstick and, puts on a nice outfit and stuff like that, she cleans up like a shiny new penny. Is that wrong for me to say? I don't think so. She's a good-looking gal.
This is definitely made worse by the fact that not only did he want to bang them, so to speak, but he also defended Keffels after she was exposed for funding a website that sold HRT to children. So Tipster was officially pushed out of the community.
Wait, what?
Did he want to bang them, so to speak, but he also defended Keffels after she was exposed for funding a website that sold HRT to children. So Tipster was officially pushed out of the community. He had been rightfully kneeled on, and he became another commentary lolcow who people would talk about and make endless videos about. Then there was Flamenco, who was also excised from the community, mostly just for being a cringe lord and also for enjoying lolly stuff. And this is just a few of the community dramas that happened where a recognizable face from Augie's community was lambasted for their actions, it was covered on his streams, and ultimately they were pushed out. And there was Bowblax every time to cover it, not only on Augie's streams, but also, as any good commentary channel would, he made countless videos going over their various sagas and documenting their downfall.
Andy Warski quote tweets this and says, I got banned from Tipster's chat for saying he shouldn't defend CP. He is losing his mind. Chris shares this clip and says, wouldn't be a Tipster stream without bringing up trans people and transphobia over Ethan asking a question and firing off a joke.
Throughout every single community drama, Bowblax remained as a co-host on Augie's streams and a respected member of this community. A community that would ultimately die when in 2023, Augie decided to mysteriously vanish from the internet with no explanation to his audience. Bowblax was now untethered. He had no default community to go to gain instant respect just by being there. And without someone like Augie to rein him in and give him charitability when drama didn't go his way, things were gonna get dark. By 2023, Bowblax was uploading a lot less on his channel, but he was now streaming to an audience of 100 to 300 people, where he would primarily focus on other commentary channels like Tipster. On Tip specifically, he made 14 individual streams and a number of VODs making a dump all over his former friend. And rightfully so. I mean, Tipster is a lolcow in every, use of that word. But just as it seemed that Bowblax had escaped the drama of his past, unfortunately, his lolcow gene started to become truly unlocked. For a while, Josh was publicly talking about his mental health struggles, although he was remaining vague under the circumstances, but he was basically saying, hey guys, I'm not making content as much because I'm having a mental health problem, having a mental health issue. And this is a respectable decision, I think, because, obviously making publicly facing videos when you're not at your best mentally can lead to some serious cringe being posted.
Some seriously unskibbity content.
Unfortunately, this struggle seemingly manifested into some very, very poor decisions outside of his videos, and this would later bleed into his career as a whole. And this leads us to me. In July of 2024, Bowblax made a tweet saying, non-binary people are badass and valid, by the way. I saw this and responded saying, thank God you chimed in. Now, this reply is definitely snarky, but let me make myself clear. I just saw Josh's tweet as kind of cringe. He didn't really say much. It was just virtue signaling to his audience like a lot of other cringe
it's like
YouTubers do.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as if I had unironically tweeted out murder is bad. Like, thank you for your stunning bravery or game-changing commentary. But apparently
at Charmin, we make
Is it unironic?
This reply did not sit well with him, as he responded by saying, "Okay, bro, I just wanted to say something I was thinking." Like tweeting, "I love pineapple on pizza. I'm not trying to virtue signal. Sucks that I can't compliment something without it becoming a big deal because it's politically and socially divisive." I then responded by saying, "Praise skibidi or perish." This was later reposted to a small Twitter account who described Bowblax's behavior as tweaking. Now, unbeknownst to the public at the time, Josh decided to message this guy asking him to delete this tweet because of his mental health struggles, and he did delete it. Despite that, Josh would privately call Alex an evil fuck who should be banned from everything for even acknowledging this stuff. It seemed like this little Twitter squabble really got under Josh's skin for whatever reason, in a way that it really shouldn't have. And this was not the only interaction that got on people's radar. When Destiny drama was really flaring up around his unsavory tweets about Trump, there was a Twitter interaction where he had made jokes with an adult-aged girl a few years prior, which was pushed as evidence that he was a creep. Now, Josh responded to this by saying, "Is this why he defended Mr. Girl, despite the fact that he openly and proudly proclaimed his sexual attraction towards minors?" Now, I'll be the first to say it, I think there probably is a criticism to be made of Destiny.
Jesus, I've never wanted to bend someone over and this is not me saying this, this is a direct quote from a tweet made by the Omni-Liberal. Jesus, I've never wanted to bend someone over the hood of their little tyke so bad. Dot, dot, dot. That's kind of wild, man. You know that's kind of wild, right?
Attraction towards minors. Now, I'll be the first to say it.
That's my birthday. That's on my birthday.
Despite the fact that he openly and proudly proclaimed his sexual attraction towards minors. Now, I'll be the first to say it. I think there probably is a criticism to be made of Destiny having Mr. Girl on a stream and not calling him a creep, considering the kinds of stuff that Mr. Girl says.
This film does try to make you sexually aroused by 11-year-olds. And I'll say it's not bad at it. It's not a total failure.
Oh, yeah, this is the guy that was reviewing what's it called? What was it called? Damn it. The one where the little girls in the Muslim countries or whatever, they were going out and they were doing dances and the families were mad at them because they weren't, you know, because they were like, I'm pretty sure some of them were naked. I didn't watch it. But I did watch this shit. This shit was weird. I remember someone making a video about this, reacting to it, and being like, damn, this is crazy. That this guy, like, he's almost into, he's like, cuties. That's what it was called, right? Cuties. He was into the fucking film. Like, he's almost like saying, go watch it. You guys have to go watch this. It's such a great film. Changed my perspective on everything.
In that regard, at least for me.
Wow.
Check his hard drive. But what Bowblax is doing here is using an interaction between two adults, Courtney and Destiny, two legal adults, who are joking on Twitter publicly, which he knew was a joke because he knew who Courtney was, to claim that Destiny is a file himself. Josh would delete that tweet and explain himself by saying he impulsively tweeted it because he was going through something the night prior, but if you've been paying attention, this explanation should sound all too familiar.
I was high. Okay, I was high, and that's why I made the decision.
Once again, he refused to actually take responsibility, trying to instead hand wave it with the explanation that he was just going through something. Unfortunately, this is not the only time Bowblax has intentionally falsely accused someone out of anger, because at one point, an infamous Twitter troll named Chipple Dipple called him a human parasite for making drama content. And Bowblax held on to that insult for months until Chip got in drama, and Bowblax then used that opportunity to push a false allegation that Chip had sent poo to minors on Discord for sexual gratification. This claim was just not true. But Bowblax's reason for pushing this false claim about Chip was because he was insecure about the fact he'd been called a human parasite. And it would stand to reason that he did the same thing for Destiny and was holding on to some kind of resentment over the fact he'd been assaulted by him on streams. In September, Alex would leak the full conversation he had with Bowblax, and the DMs read about as bad as you can imagine. Alex says they're just goofy tweets. I don't think it's that deep. I'm asking for a favor, not an opinion, no offense. I swear I won't tell you to do it anymore. I know it's frustrating and not a big deal for most people, but I just like this thing in particular to be taken down. Sorry for being weird. Also, you said you'd chill if I'm going through shit. My tweets are literally screenshots of what you said on Twitter. I don't know why it's bothering you so much, but you should figure it out and fix it before someone meaner than me starts picking up on this.
Oh, he's reading
and blows it up. So you just lied when you said you'd delete stuff about me if I said
but you didn't read it all. Does it not matter? This doesn't matter. It blows it up to a KON or tipster level. Petty, retarded tweets like mine shouldn't bother you like that.
I was going through it. You
Yeah.
can't just do that and expect me to respect you. I also said no offense, you fucking pussy. They continue to go back and forth, but
No
the real
offense,
takeaway here is that the
fucking
guy who has made a
pussy
career off
bitch.
of archiving
Fucking
the embarrassing and cringe takes from the entire online ecosystem is currently trying to get someone else to take down embarrassing tweets he had made because he's going through it. At the same time, Josh had also been having meltdowns on private, with out of context DMs being leaked to the public. Josh had apparently messaged Nick Diorio in some kind of manic state, declaring that the reason for his meltdowns was a BPD diagnosis. This would result in DMs like, Destiny is not cool, he is not my friend, I hate him. Tipster I hate is a meme. I hate Density, he is evil, he is not my friend, but you know this. It seemed like this bubbling hatred of Destiny was what led him to push a false allegation about him, but Josh was able to justify these meltdowns privately by explaining it away with mental illness.
Well, I lied. I read it, and he sent me some stuff 4 hours later saying, "Bye, honey." Saying, "Hey, I just realized I'm like completely fucking manic right now." And he told me he was gonna get help because like he hadn't acted like this in years, and he was really concerned about it. And a couple.
The Viville arc starts now. He is Viville. He is not my friend. Everyone but you know this. Does that mean evil? Is it supposed to say evil?
Couple days later,
Vivo,
he sends me
Vivo.
like, and I swear to God, this is what got me. He sends me a hospital wristband. People were speculating that I was saying, oh, he's gonna quit weed, and I found out Josh didn't quit weed. No, he sent me a fucking hospital wristband. And I've been fucking running this in my head, right? And I didn't know what I wanted to say because I don't know how much I can say here. Oh God, they're trying to stop me right now. They're trying to stop me. My phone just went off. Okay, he sends me a hospital wristband, and I'm not gonna say the name of the condition he claimed to have been diagnosed with. He told me that he had a disorder, and in that moment, and I'm almost positive he's told me he's had it since then, but in that moment, he told me he was 99% sure he was diagnosed with a disorder.
Do you think they're gonna go after this guy?
And to other people, he expressed that this disorder might be the answer as to why he's freaked out before in the past.
I hope they don't.
He said that his behavior here could be excused for it, and he led me to believe for over a month that he had some disorder.
Bowblax also apparently asked Nick for money to help tie him over during his content drought because the YouTube cash just wasn't the same.
He begged me for $2,000 to cover his mortgage. I'm not gonna say begged. He asked me for it, and I very quickly told him no, and he apologized for asking.
If true, it's possible that this disorder would explain the next behavior Josh exhibited. Small commentator Larix had been covering the Bowblax drama on his stream for some time, with mostly the petty drama from Twitter being discussed, as well as some old cringe moments from Bowblax where he talked about getting pussy and stuff like that. Well, Josh saw this, and he'd eventually hop in a call to ask him for some general advice on how to handle things, which Larix accepted with open arms.
I hope you take care of yourself, man.
Yeah.
From the sounds of things are pretty rough right now, but I want to see Bowblax thrive and succeed and win. You know?
Yeah, for sure. All right. Okay. Thanks for the call, bro.
If there's anything, you could just reach out. All right, see you, man.
All right.
This entire thing is honestly a pretty boring private call between two people, so the natural question is, why is this hour-long call even accessible to anyone? Well, it's because Josh recorded the entire thing and then leaked it with the intention of somehow making the opposition look bad. The problem is that it didn't do that. The only person that looked bad was Josh, who decided to ask someone for advice with the express purpose of later using whatever advice he got to expose the person he asked it from. Why? Because Larix was mean to him on a live stream or something. Bowblax once again showed his overall pettiness and inability to take criticism. Now, if you've watched any live stream coverage about this, it's clear that at the time, people knew that Bowblax was planning to leak this call, and they were warning him not to do it. Despite that, he announced how excited he was to drop it and expose the enemy. By this point, the public knew it was coming, and they all advised him unequivocally not to do so. But he didn't heed anyone's warning and went on to leak it anyway. While it was live on YouTube, he didn't acknowledge any criticism directly that was thrown his way, and he only returned a few days later with a statement that was actually surprisingly mature on its surface. I haven't seen any coverage on me over the past 24 hours to clear my head a bit. I'm sorry, Larix, for pitching our call in a bad light to other creators instead of just calling you back later to explain my frustrations. It's disrespectful, especially after you just tried to help me. Some people, like Willie Mac Show, praised his response for his willingness to take accountability for his actions, while Nick Diorio made it clear that he didn't really buy it. Whatever the case, this was a clear fork in the road for Josh. If he were to just shut up and continue making content, you know, Twitterverse is the thing people wanted to watch from him, perhaps his reputation could be saved even with these unscrupulous behaviors. I mean, at this point, this drama had mostly stayed insular to this small, autistic drama community, so if he just went back to the regular content people on his main channel watched him for, maybe he could be fine. On the other hand, if he were to continue feeding into the drama, he would likely refuse to admit his faults again and be unable to justify his behavior, further escalating the conflict and getting more and more eyes on it. As discussion,
it was almost, have you heard of a cascade effect? The cascade effect. And now I haven't either. And so I think it is a thing, but so one thing, it's almost like a domino effect. You heard of the domino effect? So one domino falls and then boom, what's that do? If it's a domino effect. Not anything about pizza. One domino falls, boom, hits the other domino falls. That domino falls, hits the other domino. That's what happened here. That's exactly what happened here. Pokimane shrank the channel. Then that got eyes on him. After the eyes got on him, he got friends with other people, right? Maybe he was friends before that. I don't know. I'm just fucking. Then after that, it came out that he was saying the N-word. Okay. After that, and the Black Lives Matter thing. After that, it was that. Now that's the third domino, right? Fourth domino. Now. And I've forgotten half of the story.
Discussion on this topic continued and the Bowblax drama escalated. An old familiar face even entered the frame. The goth mommy solicitor himself, Tipster. Tipster had left the community and become somewhat of a degenerate, as I already mentioned, but amidst all of this, Bowblax had apparently attempted to connect with him, perhaps to spark up some sense of camaraderie over people who had been banished by the commentary community. And Tipster's response to him was certainly welcoming. I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to look for confirmation of whether this was you or not. But since you want to run your mouth, I'll say my piece. Talk all the shit you want, but I knew you were next, and I was right. Literally everything you tried to shit on me for, you did. You're a massive hypocrite, and I have zero sympathy for you. You're getting a taste of your own medicine, and you have no one to blame but yourself. Like, holy shit. You're such a pathetic coward that you deleted your non-binary people are valid tweet after you got a little bit of pushback for it. I've been getting shit on for over a year for my support of the trans community and other LGBTQ+ causes, and not once have I deleted a tweet about it or backed down, because unlike you, I have the balls to stand by my principles. And if that wasn't bad enough, you begged Alex fucking Gekmo to delete a tweet because it hurt your fifis. There's a lot of valid criticism of me and how I've mishandled things in the past, but not even I begged a random Twitter dipshit to delete a tweet because it was too mean. You're a spineless coward and the last person who should be trying to bully anyone. It's also interesting hearing people talk about how you were extremely dishonest with them and kept sending them mixed messages, because that sounds a hell of a lot like our last interaction, doesn't it? You let me hang out to dry. Well, everyone went at me about how I backstabbed you. Meanwhile, you were in my DMs telling me you weren't mad at me and we were cool. And let's not forget all the times you talked shit on streams, then DM me after about how you were just joking and didn't mean what you said. Well, now everyone sees who you really are, Josh. You're a dishonest little shit who constantly plays both sides because you care far too much about what everyone thinks about you. You're so desperate for everyone's approval and want so badly to be liked by everyone. Meanwhile, your sad fence-sitting ass pleases no one. And because of that, your word ain't shit and you stand by nothing you say ever. So stop pretending to be a bully, because you're not a bully of anyone. You're just a bitch who falls like a house of cards at the slightest criticism. Have a nice life, Josh. Don't bother responding because I won't bother reading it. And stop feeling bad for yourself and own your shit. I took my fucking L's. Now it's time for you to take yours. Thank you. Fuck you. Bye. As funny as this is just Tipster saying this, right? Like, he's a commentary lolcow. I made a video about him. I made the diss track. You all know the swag if you remember that era. He's not really a respected guy. But ultimately, the venue for the final nail in the Bowblax coffin would come from an old buddy. On September 19th, Augie RFC posted teaser art that would involve Bowblax, his biggest critic, literally and metaphorically speaking, and a mysterious shadowy figure. People obviously picked up.
His biggest critic? I thought they were friends.
up on what this meant, and that same night, Augie would make a return to YouTube streaming. Nick and Bowblax would hop in the call to an audience of over 4,000 live viewers, and they began dissecting every single drama.
Well, I mean, you could be friends and be a critic, I guess, so
Josh had been involved in. He would open by seemingly admitting to his faults and leaking the call with lyrics.
It was an overreaction. I shouldn't have fucking reacted that way in the first place, you know? So yeah, I apologize for that on Twitter.
But Augie would take issue with this apology as he failed to acknowledge that from the start he was planning to snake lyrics. He was ultimately unable to justify why he released it, other than the fact that after he had given him advice, lyrics still covered his drama in subsequent streams, which of course would not negate the advice he gave him or make it any more dishonest. Because frankly, if you listen to it, if Bowblax had just taken his advice and shut his mouth, there wouldn't even be anything to talk about at this point. My video wouldn't exist. The conversation then shifted to the topic of his supposed mental illness, specifically Josh's explanation that he had a diagnosis for BPD, which could potentially explain away his actions. He had told Nick privately that he had borderline personality disorder, which is an extremely powerful psychological...
I understand, and I've talked about this before. I think if you get diagnosed with some type of mental illness or something like that, sometimes you can, and I don't want to say it's not real, because it is real, and mental illnesses are real, and it's a thing. But it seems like when some people get diagnosed with them, and when some people get diagnosed with them, it's almost like it removes everything that they did, right? It's like, oh, that wasn't really me. That basically, it's not my problem, right? Is to put it off on this mental illness instead of it actually being you, right? And this is real. I feel like that's what's happening here. I feel like that's what I feel like that happens a lot. And I feel like in order to take full responsibility for something you've done, or maybe it's in my point of view, right? If I was ever to take full responsibility for something I've done and then be diagnosed with like a mental illness, I would probably be more likely to be like, oh, it was the mental illness. It was the mental illness. That wasn't me, because that's the easiest thing to do, to not take responsibility for your actions and to put it off on this other thing.
Logical disorder, proudly displayed by Hello Kitty girls around the world.
And my mood swings were that crazy where that was happening. Like, for example, I was like shitting on my best friend and then like apologized like immediately after.
Did you ever think lyrics was the devil?
This is not
To 50 years with my best friend.
And then also once you start saying that you have mental illnesses and stuff, it's I think it's more difficult for people to hear you, even if it's that way of is joking or not joke. If you're being serious, right? If you're joking, they're gonna be like, oh well, he's going through like a bipolar episode right now or whatever, like. But yeah, that I just don't like it.
I was very mad at him.
That's my opinion.
That's obviously hyperbolic. I don't think like these people act, but yeah, like my mood swings were like extreme, and I just like felt like that's what was it, and I was like looking, I don't know. So that's why I said I'm 99% sure. And then I also got medication that is used for people who have BPD, like people that I know
it's also used for people who are manic.
Yeah, and it was prescribed to me for the.
But over the course of the conversation, Josh eventually had to admit that he had lied about this diagnosis in the same way that Boogie had lied about having cancer, as a means of escaping criticism for his actions.
Yeah, but I thought it was.
Wait, is this like a Boogie moment? Like, hold on now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Then why did you say it wasn't?
What do you mean?
Well, yesterday you were adamant that it was not a Boogie moment, but you went public with a diagnosis you didn't have. Well, you didn't go public.
I didn't
sorry,
go public.
I apologize. You took it to not really. You took it to several different people, and the reason why I think it's as bad, if not worse, is you were actively using this to your advantage. You're using this to explain why you had a really embarrassing interaction with myself. I guess your personal friend. I imagine you told him too. That would add an extra person on the list. I think you actually described me as your victim at one point in messages. But you did this with Connor. You did this with Alex. And yesterday you were telling me you felt you owed Alex an explanation as to why why this even occurred in the first place. I personally don't think that's true. I think you're lying. I think that you wanted him not to release those messages. So you went, hey, I have BPD. I'm on meds now. I'm better. Please don't leak my DMs.
The topic of the false allegation against Destiny was eventually broached, with Josh having a very, very hard time admitting that he had pushed a false claim about someone when he felt it was convenient. He danced around the topic in a way that chat found extremely frustrating, and he was railed on for it.
So you think that Destiny, because he makes jokes on Twitter, that makes him comfortable with legitimate files in your own personal?
He was comfortable with platforming Mr. Girl when he says that.
This is a wild tweet. If I was just coming across this tweet, I'd be like, yo, what the fuck? That's crazy. I don't know who Courtney is. I don't know.
So like I don't know.
Who's
You
Courtney?
see how this logic line doesn't line up? Like, if you think that Mr. Girl is a pedophile, if that's your position, and you're saying that Destiny thinks that, like, because he's joked about things in the past, he'd be okay to hang out with real pedophiles. I'm just wondering, I've made rape jokes in the past. Would I hang out with a rapist?
Well, you're not platforming a rapist consistently on your stream.
Sure, I didn't say I was, but your argument is that because he's made jokes about it.
Between you and Destiny.
Yeah, but no, okay, but well, I know I'm very different than Destiny. Sure, thank you. Flamenco would be mad at you for saying that.
Well, you know what I meant.
No, but you're saying that because he's made jokes about pedophilia, he'd be okay with platforming a pedophile. I'm saying a joke. I've made jokes about rape. Would I platform a rapist? Like, is that the same logical dialogue tree?
Overall, the conversation didn't go that well for Bowblax, and by the end of it, he left abruptly before Keemstar was about to enter the call. Josh had now been shown to be manipulative and cowardly to the only audience of people that ever gave a shit about his personality in the first place, and it seemed like he was unable to handle the pressure that he had dished out to so many before. Now, there are a lot of other moments that came out after this that further illustrate his character, like his unhinged rant to Nick over DMs.
I'm always worried about being too whiny or bitchy, which is why I let retards like Keem step on me for so many years with zero respect. And now I see you're doing the same shit with Destiny, letting him step all over you, trying to correct the record when he called you a big fat retard on his stream over fucking Boogie 2988 DMs. Pathetic is what I think it is. I don't know, man. Maybe it's harsh, but I think you're a talented, smart, loving dude.
Is this Tom putting this captions here, or who's talking?
But sometimes you're dense as fuck. Why do you think my debate with Destiny stood the test of time, but yours didn't, despite it being the same topic? You're not smarter than me, Nick. We're just smart in different ways. You need to hold me to the same respect level you have for yourself, or I don't want to be your close online friend / co-worker anymore.
There's a lot of funny stuff here for sure, but I think that the greatest takeaway I got from this is in relation to Bowblax's ego. And this all ties into the very beginning of his career. You see, Bowblax began his time on YouTube as a man who wanted attention, as all YouTubers do. So he made gaming videos, but they never really took off, and so he did the one thing that he knew would get him traction, which is talking about the misdeeds of other people. And that really took off. But it had nothing to do with him, or who he was, or even what he had to say, because the content was never about him. It was simply an archive of the people he talked about. And to me, that's a completely respectable career choice, but clearly this was not enough for him, which is why he sought out a sense of community through Augie. That's why he bought a Tesla and bragged about it, despite admitting he had spent over half his savings on a stupid car. He bought it in 2021, when Teslas were a trendy, cool vehicle for the hip zoomies to buy. He wanted to feel the respect of being a YouTube personality that people cared about, that people wanted to listen to. That's why he hated the idea of Nick viewing Destiny in any kind of favorable light, despite the fact that he destroyed him in a debate. That's why he started the Tipster bully streams, despite the fact that, in Tipster's own words, Bowblax ultimately was guilty of the same exact shit that Tipster was. Bowblax didn't just run away from the criticisms made of him as a person during the copyright saga because his stance on copyright was inconsistent. It's because it struck him to the very core of the only thing that got him respect on YouTube in the first place, which is that he was a victim of copyright abuse. Right. Bobby, shout out to you if you're watching this. I'm going to make a controversial statement here. I don't think that Bowblax is inherently a terrible person, and I think that you can acknowledge that his autism and whatever mental illness he may have, which I think he has something, whether it's BPD or not, he did lie about that, which is, very criticizable, but I think from his DMs it's clear that he has something, right? He's had these crazy meltdowns. This is not the actions of a totally mentally sane, well person. He's got something, okay? And I think it's okay to acknowledge that these things do tie into his behavior, but they're not an excuse. And the YouTube commentary community community is not a place for therapy sessions. It is a place where people are critical of others' actions, including Bowblax. He has never afforded the mental illness excuse to anyone else ever. Therefore, why should it be afforded to him? Frankly, at this point, there's no reason to trust this guy's takes on anything ever again. But if he wants to make content, he can. He can just make gaming content or something. He can make Pikmin content. He can make Super Mario content.
Stardew
you know,
Valley.
whatever really makes him happy.
Stardew
Maybe
Valley,
this
that's a
time it
big
will
game
actually work
right
out.
now.
To me, this is the final fork in the road. He's down on his money. He's down on his luck. He has no respect from the commentary community. But it doesn't mean his...
Hey, new Monster Hunter Wilds DLC coming out. That's gonna be big. I'm telling you.
life is over. As with almost anyone who hasn't done something that's completely beyond the pale of, like, you know, being respectable in some way again, right? Bowblax didn't diddle a kid or something. As with anyone who hasn't done something demonstrably evil like that, I think he could come back to YouTube and probably be fine. But not under the name Bowblax and not as a drama creator. That ship has sailed. I've been Tom. Thanks for watching. Thanks for buying all the merch, by the way. Sold out pretty quick. And I'll catch you all in the next video. Goodbye.